Oh my goodness, it's been a while, folks. It's been a while, folks. For those of you that have maybe been around here for just a little bit, we used to do interviews on this show every Friday, and the interviews have always been fantastic. We've been able to meet people from all around the world, including one day, many years ago, I interviewed a guy named Dave Meltzer. And when I interviewed Dave Meltzer, I was just like, oh my gosh, I have to know this guy. There's something incredible about him. Well, fast forward, turns out Dave Meltzer lived in the beach house that I used to sit and stare at back in my challenging trial days, that I used to sit and stare at every day. And I used to say, who's the guy that lives in that house? Well, fast forward, I got to know Dave. We became friends, got to travel around and do incredible things with him. And he has been introducing me to incredible people since. Now, right here on this show, we kind of got away from the interviews. We haven't really done the interviews here on this show probably for like 2 years. I don't know how we got away from it because it's my favorite thing, but we're bringing it back. And my first guest is going to be today. His name is Bart Berkey. And this guy right here, 30 years, over 30 years in the hospitality industry, 16 years with Ritz-Carlton as a global sales executive. He also had some recruiting roles with them, which is amazing. He's got a book called Most People Don't and Why You Should, that grew from hundreds of stories that he put together over the years working with the Ritz-Carlton. He's got a key Ritz-Carlton principle, ladies and gentlemen, serving ladies and gentlemen, using authenticity over perfection. So I'm super excited to learn more, and I'm excited to introduce him to you. But of course, you know what we got to do. Let's go. Good morning and welcome to the #1 morning show in America. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 9, author, speaker, and the founder of 800%.life. It's 5:30 a.m. and it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right, today is Friday, July 24th, 2026. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, July 24th, 2026. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most, of this absolutely incredible day. Coming to you live from Lexington, Kentucky, where I have got Bart Berkey with me, and I'm excited to jump right in. Before we do, though, check this guy out.
First up is a viral TEDx speaker who's been recognized as one of the top 25 most extraordinary minds in sales and marketing. Formerly a Ritz-Carlton Global Executive and recruiter, he now shares his 32 years of observations and research on human excellence and differentiation to improve and enhance behaviors for both individuals and organizations. He was awarded Keynote Speaker of the Year. His brilliant best-selling book, Most People Don't and Why You Should, consistently sits in the top 1% of Amazon book sales. Please welcome Bart Berkey.
Bart, welcome to the show. How are you, sir?
Excellent. That's a lot of people clapping at 5:30 in the morning. I'm glad you inserted that, Glenn Lundy. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
We gotta take that energy and those vibes, you know. We gotta take the energy and the vibes. I actually did this show live in front of a studio audience twice, 2 different times. Once on our 1,000th episode and once on our, I don't remember what it was. But man, it was a different experience when you have some people clapping and cheering at 5:30, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Well, joy to be here, and thank you, Glenn, for what you do. Listened, did the research, listened to you. Glad that David Meltzer introduced us, and we need conversations like you're having. So grateful and honored. Thanks for having me, Glenn.
Well, thank you, man. Very, very, very kind of you. Speaking of experiences, obviously that's the world that you have been in for a very long time and made a career and made an impact in. So I'm curious, right out the gate, I just want to dive right in. When it comes to most people don't, what are some of the things that most people don't do that they should be doing?
Yeah, I might reverse that question and ask you that because I want your opinion as well. But when I was in the world of hospitality, like 16 years with Ritz-Carlton, 10 years with Hyatt Hotels, it was doing what most people don't, was about great service. Regardless of whatever your business is, you can have a nice hotel room, you can have a great product, you could have a great car dealership, you could have a great dentist office, but it's the things that you do that are above and beyond that will differentiate you. And what I learned very quickly in the world of hospitality, it's what we did all the time. That's called service. That is called anticipatory needs. That is called over delivering. But there are so many organizations that never really even thought about that element. We have a product and we just deliver it. We have a restaurant, we serve food. We have a dry cleaning company. We dry and clean shirts.
Right.
But there's so much more to what most people could be doing. And what we do as an organization, yet we teach and encourage, of course, through storytelling to people to do what most people don't. But there's one thing that has become very clear recently to us, Glenn. There is so much technology these days, which technology can be great. And there is so much processing of things, and there are so many transactions that are taking place. And we kind of discovered that we need to get back to the basics. So I'm going to start the conversation with you. Most people don't show humanality. Humanality is a word, if you look it up, probably does not quite exist. We're trademarking it right now, probably as we speak.
Right.
But humanality is the ability of making people feel cared for, valued, seen, and heard in a world that is highly processed and crazy transactional. And so that's something that I think is going to be a differentiator moving forward. Right? When you talk to people, Glenn, you get to the essence of who they are. You don't just get surfacey with, okay, you did this, you did this, you did this. This is what's on your business title, and this is your bio, and this is your book. You get into what really matters. And that's what we're beginning to teach more and more people, humanality, how to make people feel cared for, valued, seen, and heard. And I'll give you a couple quick examples, Glenn, Lundy, you and your team. You took clips already for the intro that I didn't give you. Your team found them. You reiterated, okay, this is how it works. This is how it works. This is how it works. Your team kept on communicating, okay, this is the time. Here's how it's going to go. Here's the flow. There's a lot of people that would not do that, but everything that you and your team have done to get me on this show, I've felt seen, I've felt cared for, I've felt valued, and I felt heard. Well, imagine this little transaction for 30 minutes, 5:30 a.m. on July 24th, the only time that it's going to be 5:39 a.m. on this day on Friday. Imagine if you can make me feel that way, all of your listeners, what could they do to make someone feel seen? Just seen today, just seen. And then maybe tomorrow, what could they do to make someone feel heard? And then the next day, what could they do to make someone feel valued or cared for? It's such a simple thing, Glenn, but I got to tell you, it is so needed. It's so needed. So I'm going to pause, and I want to get your reaction to all of that stuff that I just sputtered out.
You know, Bart, it's I used to have this great opportunity to lead a large dealership in Paris, Kentucky, and every morning I had written this mantra. I don't know where it came from, inspired by the muses, but every morning my team and I, we would get up and we would say, we are on a mission to eradicate the negative stigmas associated with the car business. We can do this by making people feel special, feel important, and like they're the only one. We will offer an experience that will exceed our customers' expectations today, tomorrow, and in the future. We will not just sell cars, we will create fans. So as you're sharing that, seen, heard, valued, cared for, it's like, wow, yeah, that really is the differentiator. And I think maybe sometimes in today's day and age, like you mentioned, there's a lot of complicated things going on in technology, and we're bolting this on, and we're extracting this and all this information and so on and so forth. And I think people can get lost in the sauce when it comes to seen, heard, valued, and cared for, and maybe even overcomplicate it just a little bit. You were with Ritz-Carlton, from what I understand, for about 16 years. Everyone, maybe not, there's probably some people, but for the most part, we all associate Ritz-Carlton with top of the top. They are an organization that does the small things in a very big way, right? So I'm curious, when you were with them, or maybe just from all of your experiences in general, what do they know about humanality that most other companies don't?
Yes. You had referenced the quote, like, we are ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen. So that's something that Horst Schulze, the founder of Ritz-Carlton, came up with when he was just a student before he became a hospitality professional. And I had the pleasure of interviewing him. He was one of my first guests on my podcast, which I have invited you, Glenn Lundy. You need to be back on my show.
I would love to. I'm there, man. I'm there.
But the element of ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, I think, set the foundation for Ritz-Carlton, because what it meant is that you could be a billionaire and I could be making minimum wage as a front desk clerk. You are not any more important than me as a human being. Doesn't matter how much money you make, doesn't matter what kind of cars you drive. I am equally as important, because I can deliver experiences. I can deliver service excellence, which is special. It is a skill. You need to learn it. You need to practice it. You need to enliven it. You need to empower it. I am equally as talented. I am equally as important in this world. I just have a different job to do. I believe laying the groundwork on that, ladies and gentlemen serving ladies and gentlemen, Horst Schulze set the tone for service excellence, because it was the element of, and still is the element of, delivering the unexpected, and it is paying attention. Service, when you're good at it, it is paying attention, and it does relate to seeing, value, heard, cared for. All of those things, it does relate to that. But Ritz-Carlton had its own term for it. I've taken that idea of hospitality and I have put it into my own words, into my own stories, into my own application to be able to share. But it's my sense, my answer, it is about noticing, anticipating, and over delivering. And there's a video out there, Glenn, that shares a marathon runner, and the marathon runner becomes dehydrated and collapses just a few feet before the finish line. There's many runners that are just passing right by, not noticing, not anticipating, and simply not even delivering help. They just kept on running past. However, one gentleman notices and anticipates, this person needs help, stops, picks up the person. And what I love about this the most, and this gets to the over delivering part. So notice, anticipate what they might need. I saw someone, I anticipate what they might need. And then delivering, to me, could be pointing out that there's a runner that needs help. Can someone help this person? That might be delivering. But over delivering, in this sense and in this video, he picks up the other runner and he carries him ahead of him across the finish line. Okay, you, sir, that I do not know, that I am carrying across the finish line, that needed help, you finished third. I'm going to finish fourth.
Wow.
Over delivering had nothing to do with me, Glenn. And that is service excellence. That is over delivering. And
that's when this person's exhausted, right? This person's exhausted. They're at their end, right? They just ran a marathon and they're still taking that extra energy and effort. Incredible.
To help someone else. That is over delivering. And when companies can deliver above and beyond, and they can over deliver what is expected, and this all goes back to humanity. I was not expecting, Glenn, to keep on receiving social media clips from your team, right? AI generated until I provided a better headshot.
Right.
That was unexpected. That was over delivering. That made me feel cared for, valued, and seen. The clip that you shared before, I wasn't expecting that. You made me feel cared for, valued, and seen. Yes, you getting my name right, cared for, valued, and seen. You understanding my background, cared for, valued, seen, and heard. And that's what we can do in every interaction. And Glenn, you'll notice that I'm using your name because I care. But when I use your name, Glenn Lundy, probably makes you feel how?
Seen, heard, valued, and cared for.
Yeah. Right. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. And I want to share one other quick example with you.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, we were traveling. My wife is the co-founder of the company. So we were traveling, getting ready to present to an organization. And we go into a place for coffee. I'm not going to tell you what place, a place for coffee.
Okay.
They have a little chime on the door. So whenever you enter in, it goes ding, ding, ding. So the employees know that someone is coming through. Great. Well, when that bell goes off, they have been processed, checklist trained to say, welcome in. That's it. Bell goes off. I need to say, because I was taught in training, checklisted, say, welcome in. Well, what has happened was people did not tell them that you should be looking toward the door. People did not tell them that you should look the customer in the eye. People just said, just say welcome in. And this is what happens. I'm rearranging the pastries, welcome in. I'm making the coffee, welcome in. I'm doing everything except making someone feel very cared for, valued, seen, and heard.
Right.
But according to my checklist training, I was doing the right thing. Then imagine this. You order a coffee, and it's a complicated coffee, Americano, 2 pumps of mocha, whipped cream, and cinnamon on top. And they know my name because I have a loyalty program with them. They know my name from the credit card. They know my name because of technology. And when the drink is ready, they could very easily say, Bart, your drink is ready at the counter. Have a great day. We are so glad you're starting your day, rise and grind with us at 5:30 in the morning. We are so glad that you're here. But instead, they usually say this. Whoever ordered the Americano, couple pumps of mocha, whipped cream, and cinnamon, your drink is ready at the bar. You have technology. You have it. They're dangling. We are dangling our names. We are dangling the desire to be seen, valued, heard, and cared for right in front. And technology allows that. Yet so often, they're not doing it. And that's just, it's a reminder. It's not a criticism.
Yes.
I think it's a reminder.
And I think that's important, right? We're not here to criticize, so on and so forth. It's a reminder, and it's an opportunity for people to level up their game. You mentioned names, Bart, and one of the things that I like to do on this show, because I agree and align 800% with what you're talking about, is I like to say good morning to some of the people that are actually watching us live. So what will happen is thousands of people will watch this throughout the day, but there's only a few crazies, Bart. There's only a few crazy people that are watching live 5:30 Eastern time. Like my guy Scott Simons is on here right now. He's watching. So we want to say good morning to Scott. Mr. Ramon Ray is also watching this morning, which is somebody, Bart, I need to probably connect you with. Ramon is an incredible speaker. He speaks all over the world. I don't know how many times a month this guy is on a stage speaking. He brings an electric energy. He's an MC. He does an amazing job of MCing events as well. But he's here with us today, and he runs our Breakfast with Champions channel over on Clubhouse. So he's probably got another, 100 people or so that are with him over on Clubhouse. So Ramon, thank you for being here this morning. Deborah Livingston is with us this morning. Great to see you, Miss Deborah. We've got Gene Hughes here this morning. Paul Brindley is here this morning. Almir Dermick. Good morning, Almir. Thank you for being here. Mr. Mike Larkin is in the building. Thank you, Mike Larkin, for being here. We've got Judith Coletti, Michael Barrick, Robert Pollard, Rodney Hatfield, Greg Becker, Jimmy Whitridge, Linnell Burns is in the building. Tony Thorstad is in the building. Liza Myers-Borges is in the building, and so many more with us here this morning. Bart, some of the things that you just mentioned, they're really easy to do. It's not like hard to read somebody's name on a credit card and use it. Some of these things are very, very, very easy to do. And yet, I know that when I smile at someone and use their name at the airport when I'm standing in line because there was a delay or a cancellation and everybody's a little bit frustrated and maybe a little muggy and maybe a little tired, I know that when I smile and say that person's name that works at that airline, they look at me like I've got 14 eyes. They are shocked that someone used their name and smiled at them. And so it seems like these things are not really hard things to do, but yet it's very rare that people are doing them. Why is that? Why is there a disconnect from this is really easy to do, but yet most people don't do it?
Yeah, Glenn, first of all, shout out to all of those great listeners and followers and partners that you just rattled off. It is easier, and this is going to answer the question, 5:52 a.m. Eastern on Friday, July 24th. Most people don't listen to Rise and Grind with Glenn Lundy at this time. Yeah. It would be easier to hit the snooze button. It would be easier not to wake up. It would be easier to do other things. It's easier not to, okay? It's easier not to because we get lazy and we get into our own groove. We also fall into the trap of me. Let me tell you about me and me and me and me. It's not until we get out of our own heads and in our own hearts and look up. And I would say very kindly, get off of this device when you have an opportunity to look up.
Sure.
When you're using someone's name, and there's studies that are shown. I just got back from I was presenting at a kindness conference in Cancun, Mexico last week. And there's one statistic that I was able to do research on. It says 1 act of kindness a day for 7 days in a row will increase your own personal happiness by 8%. Me giving kindness, saying someone's name at an airport, me smiling, me looking someone in the eye, that is an act of kindness. And when we do that, it's going to make us feel better. It is awareness. Most people don't do certain things because it's easier not to. Most people don't do certain things because they're lazy. But if you hear a message like this, and maybe it's just this little nudge, Glenn, from you and from me and from all of the people that you have on your show, maybe it's just this little nudge. Maybe it's just 3 words. Maybe it's most people don't, that you write down and think, I'm going to do what most people don't do today. Maybe you just write down humanality. Maybe you just write down cared for. Just do one thing. But I'm so worried. I'm so stressed. it's here. If we stop and look up and look out, it changes everything. And I have a real quick story. May I share?
Yeah, please do.
Glenn, about how this resonated. I was New York City, basically ready to get on a train. I had a great day. I presented to a great audience. And it's the first time when I'm done getting ready to head home that I look at my phone, because I want to make sure that when I'm with an audience, when I'm on stage, that they know that they're the most important thing to me. I don't want anything to distract me, nothing negative. I am with you. Great. Get ready to get to the train station. Then I see a homeless gentleman. I get negative news, by the way, first time looking at it. So I'm in my head. I'm worried. Oh, I'm not good enough. I'm imposter syndrome. Oh, they're going to find out. And why didn't I get this great gig? And I see a homeless gentleman, and I decide finally to look up and out of my phone to notice, anticipate, and over-deliver. And there's a homeless gentleman that is holding up a sign, and the sign said, I might as well be invisible. As soon as I read that, I could not walk past him. I had to do something. I carry gratitude stones in my pocket. There's a long story as to why, but I went up to this gentleman, and I'm sure I have one here, and I handed him a gratitude stone. And I said, I see you. Didn't give him cash. I gave him a gratitude stone. And I told him, I carry these in my pocket when I meet exceptional people that need a little bit of encouragement. I share with them gratitude stone. This one is for good luck, power, and protection. I see you. Things aren't always easy, but things are going to get better. And I give it to him. The gentleman takes it, kisses it, holds it to his heart, and starts to cry. Adult man, crying. And then we had a conversation. He introduced himself. My name's Q. What's your name? My name is Bart. Well, nice to meet you. We had dialogue, just like we are having a dialogue. And it just taught me a very valuable lesson. When I went to leave that gentleman, Q was his name, I went to hand him some cash. He refused.
Right.
He refused because the only thing that he wanted was to be seen.
Yes.
That's it. And it made me feel better. And I've shared this story with probably 100,000 people because it had such an impact on my life that when we get out of our own heads, out of our own worry, and we look up and we do something nice for someone, if we do what most people don't do and see people, but it changes the trajectory of your day. And Glenn, when I share that story, usually there's tears flowing from people in the audience because they are also sensing it's nice to be seen.
Yeah.
And from the stage, I'll come off the stage and I will hand gratitude stones to the people that are engaging with me during the presentation. And when I hand it to them, Glenn, I look them in the eye and I say, I see you. I see you, Glenn. I appreciate you. Tears. Because when was the last time that someone said, Glenn, I see you.
Right.
I appreciate what you do, brother. You were an amazing gentleman. What an honor to be here and to see what you do and to see how you help people. I see you, Glenn, from the heart, man, from the heart. But imagine when we do that throughout today at 5:57, go get your coffee. And if someone says, welcome in, and they don't look at you, find them, read their name badge. Andre, good morning.
Right.
I'm sure you came in at 4:30 this morning to make me coffee. Man, I am grateful that you got up early to make me coffee. I know what you do is not easy, but I appreciate you. I see you, Andre. I see you, Kim. I see you, Bart. Right? Just try it.
Bart, I super impactful. And there was a season of my life where I was homeless for a little while, and I talk about it on stages often. I was actually homeless in San Diego, California. I referred to it a little bit earlier. I used to sit across from this beach house and ask, who is it that lives in this house? And fast forward, turned out it's Dave Meltzer's beach house, which is crazy. But I that feeling of being invisible was the worst part of homelessness. Not having money, not having food, not having a place to sleep. You become invisible. You become like a park bench. Nobody wants to make eye contact with you. I don't blame them. I understand, right? But people will look above you, below you, to the left of you, and to the right of you, but no one will look directly at you, and no one ever says your name. That is the worst part of homelessness. Wouldn't wish it on anybody. So I love that you share that. I love that you identified that. I love that Q's name is used regularly and shared with hundreds of thousands of people, because I'm positive that Q is an incredible human. We're all one or two poor decisions away from ending up in the streets, and I can attest to that. Tony Schmidt is watching the show with us this morning, and she had kind of the same thought I did. You mentioned a kindness conference. I didn't even know a kindness conference was a thing, so we're going to have to dig into that a little bit. But AI today is shifting the dynamics of humanity in a really powerful way. I think we're all experiencing it in different ways. 3 years ago or so, Bart, I saw this thing called ChatGPT, and I immediately had a meeting with my team and said, the world is about to change, and we need to kind of be at the forefront of this, and we need to learn as much as we can, and we have been doing that as as a team. I'm very it's been very impactful. But I'm curious when it comes to the things that we're talking about in this world of AI. Is this easier to do, harder to do, more important, less important? How does this life-altering AI thing play into what we're talking about when it comes to this humanity connection and making people feel seen, heard, valued, and cared for?
Amazing, Glenn. And I'm smiling because literally earlier this week, I was presenting at an AI education camp. It was a group of administrators, superintendents, principals that were getting together in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Shout out Sam Ormondo for organizing that event. But to be able to give them an idea from a non-technical person, from a non-educator, my beliefs on AI. And I shared with them three elements of a filter.
Okay.
Green, the first one, green, use automation. When can you use automation? When the stakes are low to making someone feel good or bad. Okay. Stakes are low when making someone feel good or bad. And it is something that could be automated and it's not going to make a person feel a certain way.
Okay.
A report, easy. Or use AI, use automation. To summarize notes, use automation. It's not going to make a person feel a certain way. Yellow is the time where you can use the essence of AI to be able to help you, yellow, but the suggestion is AI can hold the pen, but it's going to be your signature. So moderate involvement. And I share this example. I have tools that I use that will respond and create draft emails. For every single inbox, every email that comes into my inbox, my AI tool will create a draft for it. And I shared this example, the organizer, Sam. I said, this is the note that I sent back to Sam. And it was, Sam, I can't wait to see you tomorrow. I'm so excited. I'm glad you have 1,000 people signed up. This is going to be amazing. Can't wait. And here's my mobile number. Sent from Bart. That was AI. That was AI responding to his message.
Got it.
Now, I used yellow. I had to look at it to make sure that it was right.
Sure.
And it said something about, I'll see you tomorrow, when it was, I will see you in 3 days instead. So
Gotcha.
I had my involvement in it. Then I shared the next screen, Glenn, and I said, this is what my response would have been. THX. And like, what do you mean? I was busy. I was traveling.
Right.
My unemotional, quick response, not very sensitive, was THX.
Yeah.
Which was better? Sam, I'm so excited to be able to spend time with 1,000 people in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, or THX. So that's yellow. That is okay to use.
Got it.
The last red, when you do not want to use technology, is when it needs a heartbeat, right? When I share that story about Q, and when I tell you, Glenn, I see you, that's coming from the heart. I could use my AI avatar and tell a different story, and you might not know that it's not me because it's so darn good. But when I share a story like that, it needs a heartbeat. It needs a heartbeat. So 3 elements: green, automate it, use it. And I use automation to give me more time. It's not cheating.
Right.
I use it to give me more time so I can use my heartbeat to make someone feel even better.
Yes.
And hopefully that's, I know, also a long-winded answer, but
No. I think it's great, and having a framework like that is very, very, very helpful. Bart, this morning I used a yellow in our interaction, making sure that the email that's like, hey, have good lighting and, all the good things. Here's the link for the podcast and so on and so forth. Instead of it just saying, here's the link, see you at 5:30. It's, hey, Bart, really appreciate you. I know this is your thing, so on and so forth. Let's make sure to over deliver, right? It adds a little bit on top. But right. I too have to go through, and I had to, it said, see you tomorrow and things like that. And it's like, no, I'll see you here in just a few minutes versus, tomorrow. So I totally like the green,
when I
red.
read that. Yeah, and when I read your email this morning, can I tell you how it made me feel?
Yes, please.
It made me feel good because I looked for those spots, Glenn. I looked for those spots. How do I know it's coming from him? And so, well, he referenced the date. Yeah. He referenced the name of my company. Most people don't. Yeah. He referenced how we know each other. Yeah. Like all of those things, it made me, I looked for those. And it made me feel great and valued and seen. Imagine, Glenn, if it would have been, dear valued potential podcast guest.
Right.
Right? Invisible, brother.
Invisible. Oh my goodness. Bart, you and I could have a good time, and I'm excited to be on your show as well. We do want to be respectful of people's morning. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 2 more questions, if that's okay with you. 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap for today, and we'll send people out into the universe, and hopefully they'll apply some of these things and make people feel seen, heard, valued, and cared for today. Hopefully they'll use people's names today and smile really big at them today. Hopefully they'll use the modern technology that exists to be able to create special, memorable moments. Hopefully no one collapses that they have to pick up and carry over the finish line. But metaphorically, if they see an opportunity to lift somebody up today, hopefully they'll do just that. So the 2 questions I have is, obviously you being in this world, the Ritz-Carlton world, and then speaking all over the world and on stages, interacting with people, handing out gratitude stones, which I love. You've clearly come across some extraordinary people in your life. And I'm curious, because I'm just a curious guy. I'm always trying to see the habits, the patterns, and behaviors of successful people, wealthy people, influential people. And so I'm curious, in your years of engaging with maybe, shaking hands with some people that maybe a lot of people don't shake hands with, do you see any patterns amongst the extraordinary people that you could maybe share with us that we could apply in our lives today?
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. And have never had anyone ask me that question, Glenn. So a few things, and I'm learning already from you, Glenn. One, I would say discipline, right? Discipline. There's a reason why you wake up at 3:50, 4:02 if you're AM, if you're sleeping in.
That's right.
Discipline. And it's easier not to. Easier not to. So discipline, I think, is incredibly important. The second thing, and I don't want it to sound overused, but finding what makes you feel content and happy and joyful and at peace. There was one exercise that we do that it's called the invisible backpack. And I did it a couple of weeks ago on a piece of paper, depending on how large the audience is. I asked them to write down something that they carry with them in their invisible backpack. Now, no one can see what's in their backpack because it's invisible. Okay. But write down a worry, a thought, a concern that no one else sees, because you look like you got it all together. You look like, oh my gosh, I wish I could be her. I wish you could be him. Write one thing down. People are very vulnerable when they do that. And then I ask them, okay, that's a worry. Flip it to the other side. And if you had a friend that had that worry, write down, what would you tell them? What would your suggestion be? And we just had a friend, shout out to Maddie, emotional. She wrote down what her worry is. I feel that I'm too much. The world was telling her that she's too much. She's too busy. She's too loud. She's too extravagant. She's too colorful. That's what the world was telling her. That's what she wrote down. Maddie wrote down, I'm too much. And when we went through that exercise, we flipped it to the other side. She was able to write a better line. And friends at the table were able to help her write a better line. And she wrote down, I'm the perfect writer of much for this world.
Love that.
Right? So that aligns with discipline, the first one, but self-awareness. Self-awareness of how you feel. Self-awareness of being able to give yourself the good advice that you would give to a friend.
Yeah, I like that.
Self-awareness and give yourself good advice. And then the last one relates to all of this. Do something that is going to make you feel good. Life is short. And in fact, if all of a sudden during this call, Glenn, I did this and I froze, or the black screen of death, the blue screen of death that would pop up and like, oh my gosh, the computer crashed. I sometimes do that from stage to shock people into realizing that Don't wait.
Mm,
Your computer screen could crash right now, metaphorically speaking.
right.
I had a heart attack 8 years ago.
Mm,
My life could have stopped right then and there. People's jobs could go away. So don't spend time doing what you're miserable at doing, right? Be disciplined, give yourself good advice, have self awareness, and choose something that is going to make you soar. And it's not easy.
yeah.
Like, Glenn, it's not easy. Like, look at you, your trials and tribulations, going from a homeless gentleman to being a guru of 800% and everything else that you're doing, right? Find out what is going to make you soar and rise. And it's not about the money, but it's about the peace, the contentment, the fulfillment. And it usually has to deal with helping other people. But
That's
find
right.
out what that is. That's what all the best people, everything from my 90-year-old mother that was on the show to the co-founder of Ritz-Carlton
Yeah.
to soon to be Glenn Lundy on my show. We talk to all kinds of people, but that's my greatest takeaway from everyone that I talk to.
Man, I love that. And thank you so much for sharing that. I can imagine that moment where she's carrying that backpack that she is too much. And I can imagine her being told that probably her whole life, right? It probably started when she was a child and she was full of energy and joy and abundance. And she was told to sit down and shut up and be quiet and you're too much. And children are meant to be seen and not heard and all these horrible things. And she's just carrying that her whole life. And to be able to release that through that exercise of being kind to yourself, man, what an impact that can make. So I love that you shared that. All right, final question. Now, before I ask it, those of you that are joining us here, whether it's live, replay, YouTube, podcast, whatever, make sure you hit that share button. If you haven't done so already, share this out, drop a comment. We want to make sure as many people as humanly possible know our friend Bart. Also, you want to go on Amazon and you want to buy the book, Most People Don't, and Why You Should. So we definitely want to do that today. So let's make sure to support our guests. One of the greatest things we can do to guarantee we get amazing guests like Bart on this show is support them in all the endeavors that they're doing. So go to Amazon. I'm assuming, Bart, that's okay. I can point them to Amazon.
Yes, please. Thank you. That's where it is. Yes.
Perfect. Go to Amazon. Most People Don't, and Why You Should. I'm going to go to Amazon today. I'm going to buy 50 copies of Bart's book so that I can hand them to some of my members of 800% Club. So you go grab some. I'll go grab some. We'll support Bart that way. Is there anywhere else you would like them to go and connect with you, Bart, before I ask you this final question?
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for your generosity and your kindness, Glenn. I certainly am feel more than being seen. Thank you. I feel like the spotlight is on me, and that doesn't happen very often. Thank you,
Good.
because I try to give the spotlight to everyone else. So you're a kind gentleman. I knew I liked you instantly. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Mostpeopledon't.com, all one word. Mostpeopledon't.com is the website. You're going to find some really cool resources. You can learn more about humanality. And here's a challenge, I guess, or a task I would like to request.
Sure.
I share this information a lot with different audiences all over the world. And sometimes I will give them a challenge. And I would like to give people a challenge today, if that's okay.
Of course.
Email me, and it will go right to me, right? Bart at Most People Don't, all one word, mostpeopledon't.com. Tell me how you're going to see someone today, how you're going to see someone today. If you do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to collect some of the best answers. I'm going to report back to Glenn, the ones that gave me goosebumps.
Nice.
And then I'm going to create some type of, and I'm just thinking of this on the fly. I'm going to think of some type of a giveaway for a book, a couple of t-shirts, whatever I can do to help support. But it's easier not to. It's easier not to. But how easy would it be? Bart at mostpeopledon't.com. And I know there's fancy text ways that we have to be able to do it and scan a QR code. Sure. But just an email, because I don't know if you're listening. And I would like to challenge you to do what most people don't do. You're up early. Why not send one email? Doesn't need to be perfect. You don't need to overthink it. Just how are you going to see someone today? That would warm my soul. That would help me feel better about tomorrow. And all of the stories that I learned from you, I can then continue to pull them in, put them into my heart, and share those stories around the world. And please, just, I would love to be able to hear from you.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, here we go. You ready, Bart?
Ready?
All right. I want you to imagine for just a moment that you are on the top of a mountain. You're on the top of the mountain. And at the base of the mountain is all of humanity. All of humanity. And they're cheering your name. They're going, Bart, 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 Bart. And somebody walks over. I don't know who it is, but somebody walks over and they hand you a microphone. And they whisper in your ear, hey, Bart, you've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes to drop something on humanity, something that they can apply in their lives today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
Yeah, it's kind of a summary of the things that we've talked about, Glenn. I'm going to encourage them to do what most people don't do. Do what most people don't do. And it's going to relate back to humanity. Please do what most people don't do. Make people feel cared for, valued, seen, and heard. Those are 4 things. And I think that will help create a better world. And it's easy to remember. Do what most people don't do. Make people feel cared for, valued, seen, and heard. That's it. No difficult explanation, no scientific terms. Just do.
That's it. I love it. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, our friend Bart has graced us with some wisdom this morning. Bart, thank you so much for being on #Rise and Grind, man. I haven't done interviews in a while, and I've been excited to bring them back. And for you to be the first guest of our new set of interviews is really important, and you've made it incredibly memorable. I know everybody that's been watching the show this morning been dropping comments like crazy. So you're making a difference. You're making an impact. I absolutely stinking love you, man. If nobody's told you yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. Thanks so much for being here with us.
I'm loving you right back, Glenn Lundy. We'll get you on the show soon. But thank you so much. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you to your listeners.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was today's episode of #Rise and Grind. We're going to let you go out into the world. Do the challenge like my man Bart Berkey asked you to do. Do the challenge. Shoot him an email. Go grab a copy of his book. Most people don't. See people. Make people feel seen, valued, right? All those amazing things. Go do that today. And I'll be back Monday morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again right here on #Rise and Grind. Have an incredible day.